Find the stuff that's really high and really low.
Every Blue Man is like the most efficient version of who you are.
Spin 2, 3, 4, stop 2, 3, 4.
I'm under no illusions about the task ahead. It's not going to be easy.
You're being challenged to do something out of nothing.
Whoa! He's cutting down the bullshit, which is great.
You're kind of doing the right thing to do the wrong thing. It's really strange.
It's down to being vulnerable and open and doing anything it takes.
Imagine like going to any Broadway show now and say, hey, you know, I'm glad you're interested in our show. Today's Monday. How about next Wednesday you do it?
Paint drumming is, well, it's the first time that we see the Blue Man. It's like we're in this vast cave, and these calls, the drum calls, are sort of like sending a flare out into the audience and seeing what happens.
Okay, we need some more information. We move on. I'm gonna throw a call out here.
Ooh. We're learning paint drumming today. It's kind of a microcosm of what happens throughout the rest of the show. We're just learning blocking for now. This happens, then this happens, then this happens. So theatrically, when the audience watches, it's clear what's happening. Storytelling is really important. We don't have words to do that, so we need to understand that every movement has a huge impact.
Again, we're going to say this a lot. If everything has the same weight, then nothing means anything more than anything else.
They keep saying that you have to, like, every Blue Man is like the most efficient version of who you are. If you have to get from A to B, you take 3 steps. And you know exactly which 3 steps you have, so you turn around and you hit that point.
It's almost like a mirror when they look at each other. It's a feeling of anticipation and excitement that has to somehow be communicated.
Oh yeah, it's a slash. Oh, okay, we're on to something. Okay, you're going for it now.
The whole evening is a series of explorations to see how we can connect with the audience. And Gumballs and Marshmallows, we're taking elements from their common life. And we're transforming these everyday common items into something unexpected. The left Blue Man is the one who finds the object, marshmallows, and decides right there to try eating it, see what this whole thing's about, and then says, oh, this was good for me. How about you?
Left Blue Man brings out these gumballs and he's like, check these out. Throws them to me. I'm like, wait, what am I gonna do with this?
I got a paintball thrown, it almost went down my throat. I had to hawk it back up again, but it was a real moment.
It's like you're a conductor, having to keep an ear to the music and to the timing and make sure that you're moving things along but not cutting people off and giving stuff room to breathe. It's very challenging.
It's like a 4 count, so it's like spin 2, 3, 4, up 2, 3, 4, paint 2, 3, 4, stop 2, 3, 4.
It's really scrutinizing like little things you do, and you try and fix that, but then you fix it too much and you have to turn it down again, so you're kind of doing the right thing to do the wrong thing.
There's just so many different parts of it that you have to put together, all the skills and all the tricks and all the stuff like that is one thing, but like then you actually have to get to into the emotional life of the character, and it's very vulnerable.
Curiosity is definitely a fundamental character trait. curious about everything in the world in a childlike way, but yet he's also a super intelligent being. There's something mysterious, and you are interested in that perspective.
Okay, good. So break for a second. So just without getting you, I'm trying to have you not go further into your head, any one of you. So it's an odd question, but why, when you throw, did you go forward a couple steps? It was like a promise of something, just curious.
I wanted to know what was happening. I wanted to get closer to what he was experiencing when he caught it.
Okay.
I was curious.
Kind of what we're getting into. You got to follow your own physical impulse. The impulse itself is great, but if it starts to look manufactured, which again, without words being bald and blue, it's going to highlight any physical gestural vocabulary you do or don't do. It's going to be highlight. So if you start to do a thing and don't have a reason behind you, it's going to look like that. Little things are going to read us. So be specific. Have a reason. I'm just playing the role of director to help them get this thing. I'm playing the objective viewer saying, hey, here's what I see. So imagine being a puppy, right? So this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna to get that ball. That's what it's about. That's what you want. You want that ball. Keep exploring as you go. Stay in, keep exploring. I have no idea what's good or bad news with you. Just keep exploring. Let's not even call it a blue man. Let's just say you're in this exploration phase. Is it good news or bad news that you caught it? Is it good news or bad news that you dropped it? Is it good news or bad news that the camera's sitting there? Is it good news or bad news that I have no idea? And when we talk about a blue man kind of just being open and walking into a room, I could just sit here and be like, hi, what's going on? Waiting, and I could do this for an hour and you'd fall asleep. Is that good or bad? Poopy, 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 poopy. It's worse than that. Don't go in there shooting a gray haze over everything. It's a long time with feeling nothing. You're just floating in space right now. Find the stuff that's really high and really low.
I really like working with Randall.
Whoa! Whoa!
It's definitely, it throws you sometimes, but I'm super open to it and looking forward to getting more constructive feedback.
Randall's definitely tough, but he's not like mean.
It's obvious. The entire audience hates you.
He's cutting down the bullshit, which is great. It's what we need.
Whatever happens, share it with the people. Who are the people you have available? Point them out so we make sure you know. But there we go, not a swath of generalization. These are the people. Point them out, be real specific. It's a creepy guy in the shadows. Girl with legs crossed, guy itching his face, guy with rubber gloves on, clasping his hands. Director might be bored. Girl hide another camera, 2 cameras. Guy definitely about to fall asleep, I'm boring him. You know what I mean? Have an opinion about it. You have to be aware. In the theater, you have to notice the audience. The audience is everything. The audience defines the evening. The audience is the subject, for sure. You bring audience members on the stage, they're a part of it. The audience mandates what needs to happen, dictates what will happen. We change what we do based on how it's going. And you have to be open and available to that. Read the room. Read the room. It's the listening that's missing. The listen after a thing happens, read the room. Anyone who's seen the show will back this up. As I know when I watch the show, you can tell if you aren't the subject. Suddenly it's a passive experience. Head's leaning up against a wall, hands are clasped on waist, backs against the wall, hands are clapped here, foot's, read the room. What you want is to feel an uncomfortable, unexpected turn where you're the subject. You're watching the evening unfold and you're like, wait a second, they're watching me. Hey, the blue men are watching. Oh, there's the blue men. They're defining what they do based on me.
You are actually trying to really connect with the audience. That's the play for the blue men. Read the room. Yeah, do something. Yeah. Stay together, stay together.
You know, you can't force an opening. You've got to listen and be available to an opening that happens, and then hear and see the humor in it. And then the audience watches you hear and see the humor in it. And then they are suddenly invited to see the world in a slightly different way based on that you noticed something amusing or odd.
Could you tell, or I should put it this way, what did you notice about our interest level?
It's so obvious. You can just see it immediately. Like as soon as anything's done right, everybody's like, and there's just like a collective. It just feels like that in the room.
Yeah, you feel it. Feel it.
Okay. You feel it flat, and then you feel it like ooh.
So, okay, that's a fascinating thing. I would not have known that. Interesting. I would not have known that based on how long you guys sat in the unknown shit. You know, if you could really feel it, and I believe you, I believe you, why not go toward the light, Carol Ann? Change it. If it's not working, do whatever it takes to make it work.
This class does seem like they're all willing to nod their head and understand what's happening, but I'm just like, I can't know if anything's getting through or not.
Week 1 has flown by. A couple of the notes that I was left with, just relax the mouth a lot more. I'm stern, I focus and frown a lot. I need to focus on bringing that back. I tended to think, oh, I must keep my mouth closed.
Key takeaways: it doesn't matter how good you are with the music or that you mastered choreography. If you're not coming from an organic place doing this, then it's not going to work out.
I'm going to keep working on my awareness and trying to build curiosity.
I'm looking forward to kind of still finding my blue man and still creating and trying to find more of that sense of fun.
A few physical notes, maybe shoulders being back a little more, and just living in the moment, constantly being available, asking questions, being open.
Moving forward, I just need to focus a little bit more on like loosening up. I get really bogged down in like the specifics of like what exactly has to get checked off the list in order to be like right.
There's a ton to be aware of and to learn and to perfect. I'm under no illusions about the task ahead. It's not going to be easy, but who wants easy?